Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Seize Your Business. I'm Jim Wozak, and this is my co-host, Kevin O'Flaherty.
Hello.
Today our guest is Angelique Barthel. Hi, Angelique.
Hi.
How are you?
Good to see you again, Jim.
Angelique is the executive director of a charity that benefits children called Variety.
Children with disabilities.
Children with disabilities. That's why we're a team. So why don't you just tell us a few minutes about what exactly you do, and then our main topic is going to be how businesses can work with charities to increase their footprint and their image in the community.
Yes.
So go ahead.
So Variety, the Children's Charity of Illinois, was founded in 1943, but Variety itself was founded back in the 20s.
You weren't the executive director
I
at
was
43.
not.
Okay, I didn't think so.
I'm only on my third year.
Okay.
But Variety in general was founded back in the 20s in Pittsburgh. The story goes a little baby was left on the doorstep of a movie theater on Christmas Eve and was found with a note that said, "Please care for my baby. She's our eighth and we can't take care of her, but I've always heard of the kindness of show business people." Mm-hmm. And there was a social club that was meeting there that night, and they were the Variety Club. So they underwrote her education, everything like that. I'm sorry, I said that twice. All of the expenses of raising her until she was 5. Mm-hmm. There were 11 gentlemen that started this, and then she was adopted. She was kind of like living in different places, wound up in an orphanage, but then was adopted by a foster family. And when they didn't know what to do. And they said, well, this feels really good, helping children, so we're going to keep doing it. So that original mission of these 11 guys, years later, turned into an international organization. Each area of the country and the world has different focuses, but we all look to improve the quality of life of children, and especially here in the United States, children with disabilities. And we do that here in Illinois with 3 different programs. We have Kids on the Go that pays for mobility equipment that insurance does not pay for. So adaptive bikes, sports wheelchairs, things of that nature that are prohibitively expensive, but you can't file a claim for it. Mm-hmm. We have Live to Achieve, so we're encouraging kiddos who have a disability to get up off the couch and try a sport, whether it's recreational all the way through the elite level. In fact, the first gal that received that scholarship in 2012, she went on to medal in Rio in the Paralympics last summer.
Wow.
She's very proud of her.
Yeah.
And then we have Variety at Play, and that is a program where we run kind of day trips and things for families to do. Another local company, Fantasy Amusement, donates 2 carnivals every year. Free admission, free concessions, and we do that every May for the first 2 weekends. RSVP only, no cost, keeps the environment controlled. Kiddos who are on the autism spectrum that get easily overwhelmed or have sensory issues. The rides, they can run a little slower, some of them. Parents don't feel rushed to get their kiddos onto and off the rides. Everyone who's there understands.
Sure.
So that's really the focus of Variety at Play.
Sounds like an awesome purpose.
Yeah.
So, businesses sometimes will sponsor a charity or partner with a charity. What do you see, or what do you tell people are the benefits of being involved in that way?
Well, like the example I just happened to name, Fantasy Amusement. They're a huge company. You see them at the state fair, at the DuPage County Fair, and that is their way of giving back to the community. So you don't have to have you don't have to go out of your own box as a business to get involved in charities. That's what they already do. And they found a way to give what they do to a certain percentage of the population that otherwise wouldn't even be able to go to a carnival or a theme park or something like that. So I feel like it's a really good way to let the community know that even though this is what we do for a living, we always want to take it back in some way to the greater community who can utilize this.
Do you ever partner with local businesses to kind of come up with mutually advantageous ways to take advantage of, your marketing, their marketing, and, other than just looking good to the community, are there other benefits that business owners have gotten in partnering with you or other charities that you've seen?
Absolutely. The number one mutual benefit that I can think of is media exposure. Very often, covering human interest stories will have something to do with a family in need or a child in need. And we have a great PR and marketing team at Variety. So very often even if we don't go out seeking it, we will wind up with a story in the local paper or news trucks that come out to cover an event. And that gives everybody involved the chance to not just show off the story of the day, which happens to be about being involved with Variety and this particular child, but what that business is.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask this question. It seems like there'd be sort of like a natural fit for, like amusement centers or a toy company or a preschool or something. But, what if my business is a hardware store or making widgets that 90% of people don't even know what it is or where it goes into? Are there still benefits to businesses like that?
There's always a way to get involved with your community, whether that becomes being creative. Everyone has time, talent, and treasure to donate. Mm-hmm. So you could always serve on our board, come volunteer in an event. And from the fundraising perspective, run a campaign that says, we're going to donate 1 cent for every hammer sold to Variety, the children's charity, to help build their future. So there's always a way to turn whatever you do into a way to give back.
Mm-hmm. I feel a little dirty talking about it from this perspective because, everybody should be getting involved in the community and doing stuff out of the goodness of their heart. But for business owners, sometimes they want to see, all right, I've got a limited time in my day.
The dreaded "what's in it for me."
Yeah, what's in it for me, right? And part of the podcast is, sure, if someone just wants to be a good person, they can certainly do that. But there's a lot of benefits. I mean, hardcore, real benefits. And we've been, this is really apropos to what we've been doing as a firm lately, because we've been branding ourselves for years as your community law firm. But we were like, well, like you were talking about, how do we make that true? It's one thing to say you're the community law firm, but what's real about that? So we've been, just started a program last month where we partner with a select list of local charities and donating 5% of all referrals to this list of charities, right? And at first it was just going to be a convenient way to be involved in the community, but it's turned into a lot more than that. We've developed partnership. There's 2 charities we've been working with, and I'd be happy to talk to you about working with you about this, but Dive Heart, which teaches kids with disabilities, so yes. It sounds like you know Dive Heart.
I know them.
And the Respite Endowment organization, and it just started out as a very small thing, us reaching out. We knew some people that were involved in those charities, and it kind of turned into, with Dive Heart, we've got kind of cross-marketing platforms, doing joint events, and, making videos together, and it's going to be a really powerful marketing tool for us, unintended, but there's
Absolutely.
A lot of you guys as charities have access to a lot of powerful marketing, and if you can find mutually beneficial partnerships, just even starting with, hey, I'd like to start sponsoring, start donating, start getting involved, show a little good faith as a business owner, and then the relationship can develop from there.
And that's one of the things that I'm always looking for, is the mutual win-win. My background is actually in marketing and PR, so I've always had that train of thought before I came over to this side and worked for nonprofits. I think that it's great when people are wanting to do the right thing, but it always works better when you can just find whatever lights somebody's fire and turn it into a way to use what they're already excited about and doing anyway into something that also benefits the community.
Sure.
Well, let me ask this question because you made me think of something. So if I'm a parent of a child who's benefited from your program, and I see you're sponsored by, Joe Doak's dentist, aren't I more likely to try to patronize your sponsors as opposed to just some stranger?
I would think so. We have a lot of the same families who have received, let's say they receive a bicycle grant from us. Well, then they come to our events and see that, oh, Fantasy Amusement donated this, and here's this business who bought a table sponsoring at this event too. And it really does become more of a family type environment. You provide the community network there, but it even goes to the point where these families are becoming friends with each other because they all understand. And a business owner may know somebody who could use those services, and it just becomes a very informal but quite effective way of networking.
You know what? Let me ask you this. Maybe this is our last question, but I think most people love stories. I love stories. Can you relate a story of a specific child maybe and what their situation was and how they, changed or experienced things differently after doing one of your programs?
Absolutely. One of our best examples of a difference being made is Jackson Cunningham. He had a stroke when he was 8 years old.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, quite unexpected.
I didn't know that happened at such a young age.
And he was completely healthy, and did his rehab at RIC down in Chicago. We have a great relationship with them. But for whatever reason, the one little piece of equipment that he needed, it's physically little but quite expensive. It's called a walk aid. And insurance does not cover it, but it was the only way that Jackson was going to be able to walk again. He applied, the grant went through, and his story was actually picked up by People magazine because he was in the hospital and trying to recover through all of this, and started his path toward recovery around the same time that our then senator had the same type of stroke. And they started encouraging each other, writing letters back and forth, and they are great friends now. Cool. And Jackson has completely recovered. Yeah. And really, it's the strength of the doctors and Jackson's determination. But it's mind-blowing that piece of equipment wasn't covered by insurance. Yeah. So we're very happy that we were able to make a difference that way with them.
Super.
Jim asks for stories a lot. I've never seen someone counterpunch with a story like that.
That's a great story.
I'm going to have to think twice about it.
Yeah, no, I think those are good.
There you go.
Stories.
All
And,
right.
the other comment is that there's a lot of great charities, and my understanding is like these super big charities like American Cancer Society or something like that. Actually very little of that money actually gets to the person. But I think with a smaller charity like Variety, I think a lot more of that money gets used for its intended purpose.
And with smaller charities, the reason I like working with smaller charities, especially like local, if we're talking about getting involved in the community, a charity that's involved in our community is a way to do that. So if people want to reach out, either sponsorship, volunteer, or board opportunities, how can they reach out to you?
Sure. You can find us on the web at varietyofillinois.org. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of those are Variety of Illinois. I believe Twitter is actually Variety 26. We are still numbered by tent, as though it were the vaudeville days. So we are tent number 26. But varietyofillinois.org will lead you to all of our other channels, and info@varietyofillinois.org.
Is there a phone number that could contact you?
Yes, 312-822-0660.
Jim, how can people reach you?
Well, you can always reach me at 630-272-3895. And if you're in the Chicagoland area, on August 24th, I'm doing a workshop, Improv Skills for the Business Professional, which will be a lot of fun. Kevin, how do they reach you?
Yeah, 630-324-6666. We offer free consultations in almost every area of law. We also have offices all around Chicagoland, so we probably have an office somewhere near you, regardless of where you are, if you're in Chicagoland. But
and if you don't, he'll create one there.
Yeah. So thanks so much for being here, Angelique.
Thank you.
And thanks for listening.
Thank
it's always
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.